Hey besties, I'm Jed,
And I'm Victoria, and welcome to the Book Besties podcast,
where the books are good
the takes are honest.
and the tea is always hot.
Jed, what are you drinking?
It's peppermint tea in honor of Zeta scent. You guys,
Ah.
if you know, you know.
You didn't! You didn't!
What are you drinking?
Perfect peach, because can I be a
Ooh,
perfect peach?
you are the perfect peach.
Thank you,
Well,
girl.
everyone, we are officially crossing the parapet today. We are diving into Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, book 1 of the Empyrean series.
We will start spoiler-free for our unbonded listeners, and then we'll give a very dramatic spoiler warning before we enter full rebellion mode.
How dramatic would it be?
Oh, it's parapet dramatic, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, why was this book so special?
Well, it is actually the very first fantasy book that I've ever read my entire
No.
life.
No,
Yes,
no, no, no.
yes. So during the holidays, I was reading a lot, and you know this. And I asked a friend of mine, I was like, I think I am ready to read fantasy. And she told me that Fourth Wing is a great one to start with. So I did it towards the end of last year, and I finished it January 1st, which is why I had a very great start, for 2026. What about you? What made you read this? Why is it special? Tell us.
Okay, so you're the one who got me into this series. and you kept saying, it just only gets better from there. The female lead is amazing and the male lead is boyfriend book material. I was like, okay, fine. I'll do it. And then here we are. This series, making this podcast.
A little bit of a funny story. I actually got the paperback first because I'm a paperback girly.
Okay.
And so I got the paperback first. I got book 1, and then midway the book, I had to return it and buy hardcover because I knew that I was going to read everything. And book 4 is not yet out, so I know that when the time comes that it comes out, I have to do hardcover.
Book girlies know everything needs to match.
Yes, everything needs to match.
Exactly.
But what about you? Like, what was your first impression when you finally got the book?
Okay, so I went to TJ Maxx just to get a cup, not thinking about getting books. And then I found that they're on sale there, and they had Iron Flame and Onyx Storm 2 in hardcover. And your girl, I have to have hardcover. I have to have a physical book in hand, nice and strong to be beat up because we show love to the pages, do we not?
Yes. So I'm curious, like, did you have like an expectation versus reality moment with this book?
Yes, I definitely did, because while you primed me to love the characters, I did not expect that I would love Zayden that much, okay? Because he's so freaking
That much, huh?
That much. But you already kind of knew what you were getting into because you went into it first. So what was your moment?
Well, my moment was pretty general in a sense when it comes to like fantasy books because of the length. It's like, I think fantasy books in general are pretty thick.
They are thick. Yes.
Yes, they are thick. And I was a little bit scared of how the world building would be, right?
Mm.
But let me tell you this, when I started reading, it wasn't that hard. And I think that it's because I started with Fourth Wing, because this book is really just an easy read if you want to get into fantasy.
Yes.
Because of the elements on this book, the coming of age, the romance, like everything is just like something that you can easily imagine or relate to in a sense.
Absolutely. And the way that she writes too, it's not too heavy.
Yes. I
So
have to
if you
agree.
had to pick one word to wrap up this whole Fourth Wing book, what would it be?
I would say consistent.
Okay.
Okay, wait,
Elaborate.
let me explain. I know that it's nothing crazy, but that's just like how I see it. When I think of like, okay, maybe it is adventurous. Maybe it's I don't know, there's so many words I could think of, but in a sense it really just comes down to like the book being consistent in every aspect.
Okay.
right? Like I said earlier, like it's the right amount of romance. It's the right amount of action. You get to love the characters. I like the plot. Like everything flows smoothly in this book. And like every chapter you would want to read. Like there are, because I've read books that have slow beginnings or like midway, we just have to like get through this before we get to the good parts, right? I feel like with Fourth Wing, everything is good. Like I couldn't put it down.
Oh, absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
what was your one word to describe it?
Okay, if I had to describe it as a food, because I love using food references, I would say
Mhm.
an Indian thali because you get a little bit of everything. Every time you go to a thali, you never know exactly what you're going to get, but it always has a bit of savory, a bit of spicy, and a dessert.
Ooh, yes. We love the
Mm-hmm.
spiciness of this book. Yes.
All the flavors, all the flavors. So I assume your rating is high, but like, don't let me put words in your mouth. So out of 5, what would you rate it?
A 5. Period.
Done. Done. Period.
Done.
Period.
Yes.
Same.
Period.
Same.
5 star. Okay.
5 stars.
Okay. 5
We're on
stars.
the same page about at least that.
I feel like we're on the same page about a lot of things. What are you saying?
Okay, well, I mean,
Uh,
we're gonna drop the tea
okay.
soon.
Okay, let me drink. Mm.
We need a tea moment.
Minty. Minty like Zayden. Okay,
Get
well,
ready.
let's get onto the basics of this book. We know that this is mainly set in Basgiath War College, a 3-year military college in Navarre that consists of 4 quadrants: the Riders Quadrant, the Scribe Quadrant, Healers, and Infantry Quadrant. The elements of this book, there's a lot of war, battle, combat, brutality, death, and violence. You see what I did there?
I
Okay,
see.
speaking of violence, our FMC Violet Soren Gale was forced into the Rider's Quadrant instead of becoming a scribe, which everyone thought she was becoming a scribe, even herself, right? And I think I could see like some parallelism here of just the reality of life, right? Like with us
Yes.
real people, right? I feel like we are always expected to become the thing that we're good at.
The thing
And
we studied in college.
yes, yes. And that's just one thing. Or like maybe if like we're not good enough for one thing, then maybe that's not the path for us. But I love the part that she actually decided to embrace getting out of her comfort zone. I think that's very empowering.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yes,
especially someone who grew up physically weak, but then going into the quadrant where you need to be the physically strongest person. And she
absolutely.
overcame all the odds to do it.
Yes, because she's gonna go through a lot, right? Like a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
challenges. Speaking of those challenges,
So there's going to be multiple rounds of very dangerous things, I would say. So first we have the parapet, which is when they literally have to cross this really narrow piece of wood in order to get across to the other side. And the other side awaits then this huge rock that they need to scale in order to get into the school, like physically get themselves into their own quadrant. After that, later on, they're going to be tested with what is called the gauntlet. And the gauntlet is this giant machine of a bunch of moving parts and non moving parts, but all could lead to your death. And finally, threshing is when they're able to potentially have the chance to be chosen by one dragon and then become a rider. But throughout all of these processes, you will definitely die if you fall. Like, there's no doubt, there's no safety net or anything, like mats, nothing. Like, if you fail at any of these steps, you will die. Isn't that scary?
wow,
The
that is
thought of like
scary.
going to a school, signing up, knowing that there are no safety nets for you. Like, you either graduate or you're gone.
They said exiting this college is, or like at least this quadrant, is either graduation or death.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's no
that's it.
there's no in between. And the point is They want to find the strongest of the strongest, not just people who are brave or have skills or even ones who are not afraid of dragons, but they want someone who could, against all the odds, come out on top and
I
fly
have
up top.
I have a question. So can you explain like what they get out of this? Like if you become a writer, what happens? Like why is it so prestige?
The glory, the fact that there is this huge hierarchy, not with only within the school, like between the quadrants, if you are a rider, you are at the top. Like basically you get your way. They have their own separate booklet of rules that they can loosely follow, whereas every other quadrant is required to follow very strict rules because the riders know that they have their dragons at their back. It's like a source of their power, their structural power. And then beyond the school, once they graduate, they are essentially the front lines to protect Navarre.
Mm. And those dragons give them signets.
Yes, and these signets are what is basically it comes from the magic that the dragons give them. And it is a representation of the thing that they actually desire the most. And we'll dig into that a little bit more later because a bit of it is spoilers. But let's just say that it lets them wield magic in very unique ways.
Nice. So we're definitely seeing this theme of like survival of the fittest in this
Absolutely.
book. It's really like, filtering the best people.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And then we also talked about like the weakness, right? A little bit. We see the weakness of our FMC Violet Sorengale and how it didn't stop her from pursuing this path. And I like that. I like that. We could all relate to that somehow.
Oh, absolutely. Like, there's so many times. How many times in your life, I cannot even count, where we've had imposter we've just never done something, or we've always been told, "You're not enough for XYZ." And then once we do it, we realize, "Wait, we could be so much more." And that's the heroine that I see in Violet. What about you?
For me also it's the fact that she got to accept that weakness and found like kind of like a work around it. And I think
Yes.
yes, and I think that's something that we should, really take note of because sometimes, this is what we get, but it doesn't mean that that in itself defines us solely. Like we could always, find other ways to pursue our dreams or what we want to get. And so like just be resourceful,
Absolutely.
be adaptable, be like always be willing to learn and be crafty because she is crafty.
Yes, she will find the most cunning ways to get around very difficult situations. On top, and she always uses that great noggin of hers. But I must say, on top of that, there's something that I heard recently where someone was like, what you think are your weaknesses or what you've been told are your weaknesses can actually be your hidden superpower because
Ooh.
through those weaknesses, you will find the most unique solutions to problems. If you share those weaknesses, you will be able to relate to other people who share the same concerns, and then you
Mhm.
can you can build something together. And I think that is just truly like mind opening for me. And I think that's something that she's going to eventually find in her path. Violet.
Wow. Also, personally, I love the tropes in this book.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Personally love the training trope. I'm a sucker for like training, and I love when I see characters, train each other to become stronger. I like it. What about you?
Building
What's your
each
favorite
other
trope?
up. Yes, yes. Okay, I am always a sucker for enemies to lovers, and I think this book does it perfectly. The transition from enemies to lovers and the sexual tension. Don't I cannot I will always fall for that. So, what type of reader then, given all this, would you recommend this book to?
Honestly, I think it all comes down to like the people who wants to get into fantasy. I think this is really one of the best options that, you need to consider because it's really going to make your life easier and it will make you fall in love with this genre.
I agree. Absolutely agree. And I think it's also looking for someone who wants a heroine that starts out quote unquote weak and overcomes all odds, like we were talking about, to become the top, get to the top.
Absolutely. So I think it is time from this point on, we are entering full spoiler territory. Yeah. So if you haven't finished Fourth Wing yet, pause now and come back after bonding your dragon.
Make sure to save this video, this podcast, however you are listening or watching, so that you can come right back to us.
Yeah. Okay. Now we could finally talk about basically anything.
Okay, so
Basically
I think we knew the most dramatic thing we were going to debate here today, and I think everyone wants some tea, is
Okay.
Dane. Because we have very different things about Dane.
No, you cannot do this to me.
Yes, I can, and yes, I will. I will say it, and I will say it again. Dane is almost unforgivable. No, actually, at this point, no. He's not forgivable. He violated her. Okay, so you tell me. I said what I had to say. You tell me, Dane. Dane.
I can't. I can't talk mean things about Dane.
What?
I don't know. I just feel like he was kind of manipulated in a sense, right? I feel like cuz he was raised to be this kind of person, right? To believe that the people with the rebellion relic are bad, or and that they are the good guys. So I feel like he lives by the codex. Not that I'm trying to say that violating her is good, but I'm just saying that I feel bad for this guy because he had to make that choice. He was put in that position to make that choice because he truly believed that it was his only choice. So I feel bad for him, but go ahead, speak your truth.
Okay. The one thing that really gets me aside, I understand. I understand that he was raised by his father to believe these things. And almost everyone at the school, believes that the truth. But as a longtime childhood friend, she only let him touch her because of that. If it were a random stranger, if they were coming up to grab her face, she would have pushed them away. So that he abused the trust that she had in him as a friend to get physically close to her. And I did not find
Mm,
that acceptable. And then the physical then led to the mental violation. But
yeah.
I can see where he's coming from in that he thought that he's trying to keep her safe and try to keep everyone
Mm,
else safe.
yeah.
Yes. And that leads me to the next topic, which is that all of the students are made to believe that they are weapons on behalf of Navarre. And so in
Mhm.
his mind, he's like, well, my signet is to be able to read minds, memories, and that therefore I am the weapon on behalf of this Basgiath to do this work. But I don't know what you
Mhm.
think about, them being like tools of war.
I don't know. I guess I didn't really think of that, of how actually insane that is, right? Given their ages as well.
Yeah, they're
And
young. They're so
they're
young.
so young. And now that I think about it, I remember that these people actually starts training from a very young age too. It's not like they just decided yesterday to get into this college. They were groomed to become
Yes, groomed
dragon
is the right
riders.
term.
Yes, yes. So in a sense, we kind of see, the stakes here, right? Of how what is happening in Navarre? Why do people at a very young age becomes a tool for war, right?
Yes.
Which I guess now it says a lot about the leadership of Navarre as well.
Yep, the leadership of the school and Navarre and the instability in Navarre, which is why they're so desperate to make these young kids go to the front lines.
But then again,
Yeah.
there's that side of the actual kids wanting to do it, right? We talked about how glorious, it would make them feel if they become dragon riders. So
Yes.
there's that.
And I feel like that recruitment process of them being on the border, especially the ones who are from the border cities, who are at the grew up at the front lines of the violence, really, are starting believed to or told all these stories since they're young of how this is their fate essentially to
Yes,
defend
yes.
Navarre.
Right. And to add on to that, we can't forget the fact that the children from like the rebellion are forced
Yes.
into this quadrant as well, right? Because that's,
Yes.
yep,
Yes.
that is the
That's
deal that they made.
And that's an interesting dynamic that those even the ones who are marked still very much want to be there, regardless of the fact that they were forced to be there,
Mhm. Mhm. For
which
sure.
then says a lot about the rebellion itself. The fact that
Mm.
they had a purpose deeper than being riders. Let's talk more about
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, go for it. Actually, go for it. Go for the rebellion part of
Yeah, it's so in my mind, I feel like first of all, I was a little bit confused about where all of this leadership came from, but what I do understand is that Zayden had I did since a very young age, since taking all the lashings on behalf of the 107 of them, had decided that like this was his fate
it. Mhm.
to revive this rebellion to be able to save more people, take in more refugees. And I think him finally being able to go back to Eritrea after all that happened and then taking Violet with him said a lot too about how much he trusts her. And then how much, Brennan being there as well means that there's a lot going on behind the scenes that the students and the leadership of the school don't even know about. And so the fact that they were so blindsided by all of this says to me that like they're not doing a good enough job of sending out like of actually making their students who are their weapons loyal enough to them.
But then I think also, right, like with the rebellion part of it, because when we first read about these characters, right, who are part of it, we're not really sure if there's an actual rebellion ongoing, right? Like they are the children. But do we trust them or do we not trust them? I
Ooh,
mean, yes,
as
because
readers.
as readers,
Mhm.
because I feel like there's like, even though obviously like I don't we all love Zayden, right? And he's part of that. But like, are they really the bad guys, right? Like I guess to me, it was also very surprising when I figured that they were hiding information from their writers. And I think that's such a big thing, right? Because of the sacrifice that these writers do. And then they're not
Yes.
giving them the full picture, right?
Yep.
We can remember that moment when Violet was hiding, when she saw the rebels, having a meeting and stuff, right? Like that's also like a very monumental scene in this book.
Yeah, because especially being someone who her mom is one of the top officials of the school, and then her dad was also from,
Mhm.
he was a scribe, studied like that combination, and then her sister being a top ranking I guess lieutenant. And it's
Mhm.
so like all those pieces combined, you would think that she would be like a Dane essentially, very
Yes,
brainwashed belief that, by the codex, like things are
by the
done this way
codex.
or that way. But she didn't. She didn't. And that says a lot about her, but that also says a lot about how badly they are doing with indoctrinating their
Yes.
students. Yep.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Now let's talk about the rebels real quick, because like while we're on
Mm.
this this part of it, I've been waiting to talk about this. Okay, let's talk about Zayden, well, the F-aware Ryerson. The perfect MMC.
He's just
Wow.
okay. Wow. He's so sexy. He has this angst to him, but he's also a hero in so many ways. Like, what is there not to love about Zayden Ryerson?
Nothing. No.
And
Every
and
parts of
all
him we love, right?
oh yes, and even the sulky parts, even the extra violent parts, like it all is to me anything he could do justified.
When he killed those writers in her room.
Like slash 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 gone, and she didn't even know what the heck happened until it was all over.
I know.
That was
Crazy.
wild. That was wild. And the fact that he did it in like such a quick moment, but then like didn't seem to be phased by it at all because he knew
No.
like that's the thing he needed to do to protect her.
Absolutely. I do have a few quotes that
Okay.
I would like to share that are my favorite, that from this book, that Zayden said. There is no me without you.
Stop. Stop.
Okay. And then there is nowhere in existence you could go that I wouldn't find you, Violence.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so without the context, people
Okay.
might be like, what the hell is he saying, stalker? But no, he clearly is protecting her, and you have to read the book to know though. But
Yeah, I mean, like, we are in spoiler territory, so they already read the book, so they know what
yes,
we're talking about. We just want to repeat it and relive it, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Given that, I am very curious. Okay, like, we love Zayden, and he has so much love for Violet, right? But I guess I wanna. This is hot take. What do we feel about the falling in love part? Like, because I know that, like, we see that they are deeply, deeply in love, right? Like,
Very quickly.
very quickly too. So
Okay.
I want to hear it.
I'm
I
just
want to
allowed
hear
to say it, okay? It was too quick. Like, where the heck did it come from? Like, they barely knew each other and they were already like, okay. On her side, obviously it's easy to fall for him because, I mean, he's gorgeous, he's sexy, he's smart, like, he's strong. But on his part, I understand. Okay, I love Violet. Give me a Violet too. Like, I think she has a huge character arc to go, as we know. But still, prior to that, even though she's really smart, he doesn't know that much about her. I don't know.
Right.
What do you
Yes,
think?
I think the love part, like, sure, like, maybe you don't need too much of a long time to like someone and fall in love with someone, but a love that deep, I think it takes a
Yes.
little bit of time, right? Like, for someone to just kill for that person, right? Or like sacrifice so many things for that person. I think I hope that there's more that happened between them before they even got to that point.
Yes.
Yes.
And like there needed to be to me what was missing is there needed to be at least certain moments where he could come to respect her and see like how amazing she is and that they would do things together as partners instead of
Mhm.
him constantly saving her or like them just
Yeah.
fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But
Agreed.
I will still accept that Zayden is amazing and so anyone could fall for him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I fell in love with him, like, first few chapters.
Of course. Of course.
But would we die for him right away? We
No,
need to see more, right? Like, you see, like,
more.
that's the thing. Exactly.
Needs to see more.
Yeah. Or maybe maybe we just have trust issues. I don't know. But anyways, that's
I
us.
don't know.
Let's
Can I flip
go
the
for it.
question?
Okay.
Would you be willing to die for Andarna or Taryn after everything that happened in
Fourth wing only.
fourth
But
wing
what?
only?
Darna and gosh, no.
Okay, okay, that's very fair. That's very fair. What made you come to that conclusion?
I mean, I like after book one, I would die for Zayden, yes, but not in the beginning. Is what I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay,
Okay,
yes,
like
yes.
yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. Like I fell in love with him first few chapters, but not worth dying for yet
Okay.
until towards the end. I feel like these dragons have lived like a long time, and like why would I, you know?
I think you actually convinced me. You convinced me of your point, and I agree with you.
Yeah,
They've
they live
lived
a long
long
time.
enough.
They don't.
Although, and Darna is still a child, so then I'm like an adolescent dragon. But
Right.
well, okay, If I were to answer the question, I would say I might die for Andarna. I wouldn't die for Taryn.
Yes. Okay. That.
Yes,
Yeah.
because Andarna's just so precious. Okay, let's go to the next question then, and maybe I could answer my own question first. But who's your favorite character? And mine is Andarna. So if I can't die for my own favorite character, then I don't know what to say if I committed enough to the book or not. But yes, Andarna, so adorable. So your favorite character, go.
Book one,
Book one.
Liam.
Liam. I'm too soon. Too soon.
Well, I mean, of course, aside from Zayden, right? We are talking
Yeah.
aside from Zayden. Liam, he's just perfect. Like a perfect friend, perfect protector, and the fact that he also didn't see Violet, like romantically or whatever, like he didn't have that. Like it was just pure friendship. And then like it's not even like the sacrifice that he made, right? Just he himself. I feel like it's so comforting to know that Violet has someone like Liam, which is why it hurt me so much to see him go.
Absolutely. It hurt so much. I felt like he just had so much potential as a friend,
know.
as a writer. It hurt deeply. I do want to clarify though. For you, it is aside from Zayden. For me, Andarna is actually my top character. Even over Zayden. Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. So favorite character aside, Liam is just he's so great, and I think that like we want like if you were to build a future for Liam, let's say he didn't die in Fourth Wing, like
Oh, this
what
is
would that
hard.
be?
This is hard. No, hold on. I would like to see him fall in love with someone.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you have a person in mind?
Wasn't he like, if I remember it correctly, wasn't he supposed to be having something with Jacinia?
Yes, they were
Yes.
totally flirting. Oh,
That could have been a thing, honestly. I feel like Jacinia would have been good for Liam, but what about Ree or something?
wait, no, actually, no, I can't see that. I
You
can't see.
can't?
No, I cannot. I cannot. I feel like Ree is destined for someone in the future, like in a future book.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am intrigued.
Because I feel like Ree is just so leadership material and like almost like the glue of their squad, so much so that it's really hard to find a match for that. Like when someone is just so focused on being that role.
But I think it's more of like a black cat golden retriever kind of
Okay,
thing.
wait. Oh, that's an interesting dynamic you bring up. How so?
Like you said, I feel like Ree is, very leadership material and
Yeah.
she knows what she wants. She knows what she believes in. She's very courageous. And then Liam is just giving golden retriever vibes, right? Like I feel like he's so gentle, he's nice. The way he reacts, I think it's giving golden retriever, and I feel like it would be a great balance with Ree.
Okay, I could see that, but isn't that more like friendship though? Like a black cat and a golden retriever is like friendship. No, I don't know.
No.
No, okay,
No.
all right. Well,
No.
but I do see though those individual representations of them. I agree with. I can
Yeah,
see Liam totally as golden retriever.
for sure. Let's talk about Reunification Day. Do you remember this?
Wait, okay, remind me, please. Spruce up my memory.
This is like the party or event, a day where they celebrate reunification, where all like the generals, the commanders, like they come to Basgiath and they celebrate. I mean, I don't know if you remember, that was the time when Zayden was not at the party and Violet was looking for him and he was actually at the parapet. And then Violet literally
Oh,
went to the
that
parapet again.
moment!
Yes.
Yes.
And
She tends to
yeah.
find him in moments where he seeks out to be alone, but then actually really needs her.
This was the time also, like, at the aftermath of this was Violet realizing that she is actually in love with Zayden.
Wow. Okay, yes, that was a really big moment. Okay, so tell me
I guess
when
I
that happened.
jumped
What are
too
you
far
thinking?
though. Okay,
What do
well,
you mean?
okay. I think I can jump too far because I also want to talk about their first kiss. But okay, let's finish this falling in love thing first
Okay, yes,
because we're
yes.
here. Okay. When she said that, like, she's in love with him, and then Zayden was like, because like she said, I think I'm in love with you. And then Zayden was like, you think or you know?
Oh, that's so him to say
That's
that
so
though.
him. And I was like, how dare you? How dare you?
Question our love, like you.
Yeah, but I think it's just a beautiful moment to me, right? Like Violet also facing the fact that she's actually in love with Zayden
I mean, she was pushing back on that thought for a very long time.
for a very long time. And I assume it's pretty hard to do that, especially
Yeah.
after that kiss. Now on to the first kiss.
Ooh.
Tell us.
Okay, that was just so tension filled. Like, I think the moment when she showed up and then he was. Oh, wait, wasn't he shocked at that moment? Like, wait, okay, am I messing it up? I am messing this up.
I think
You tell the first kiss story.
I think I think if I remember correctly, I think the mating thing between Sigale and Tairn, right, is basically like going through
Yes.
their own heads as well.
Yeah, and they were both trying to shield it.
I think so, yes, but Violet, I think, was in her room and like she couldn't figure it out. And then she needs air, like she went out and then she saw Liam. And I was like, at that point too, it scared me because I'm like, oh my gosh, is there something gonna happen with Liam and Violet? And I was
Right,
just
right.
right.
Yes.
Yes. And it's not like, and I guess it's fine if it's part of the story that they actually, but I was also scared the fact because like I like Liam as her friend and I'm like, no, please don't ruin it.
Don't
Please
cross that
don't ruin
boundary. Yes.
it. Exactly. And I'm glad that they didn't. And then she found Zayden and then that's
Yes.
when it all happened.
Yes,
That
and
was
he was
also a
trying to
sweet moment.
explain to her what she's experiencing, and then she's like, "Okay, I remember now." But though the fact that it was tension filled,
Mm,
and now you remind me why, I'm like, "Ooh, extra spicy." Which leads me to the thought about how the dragons themselves have such like complete lives and very very different than what I would think other fantasies would have. So like talking about the dragons and like the mating bond and how that results in Xaden and Violet also having this really complicated intertwined fate.
mhm.
Let's like how it just felt so right and so wrong at the same time. I don't know what you thought.
I have to agree when you said it like the like felt so right and felt so wrong at the same time because I think that destiny really just played a part in their stories of like them keeping each other like close. But then at the same time, again, like Violet is from General Sorengale's, side, and then he's from this rebellion side, and they actually shouldn't be together, right? But again, that's just destiny, and I'm here for it. So I guess like
Absolutely.
that's also a trope, right? Like the part where like you can't be with each other, but then you're gonna
You
fight
fall in
your
love
way.
anyway. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yes. They're making their
yes.
way. It's so interesting too how then there's this dynamic of like her having two dragons, being someone who is considered weak, but then somehow two dragons wanted her and everyone else only got one. Like was just a sign like from the beginning to me that like there's something extra special about her, especially the line when Tara says, "I know
Mhm.
exactly who you are, Violet." Well, okay,
Yes.
when he said that, what were your I mean, we've read the rest of them so far, but like prior to that very moment, what was your theory about what he meant by that?
Definitely like there's something more to Violet that we don't know yet that is about to unfold. Because I also think that Tairn, like all of his lines mean something. Like he's not the type of person of like dragon that just like blurt out words, right? Like
Yes.
he's full of wisdom and I feel like every words that come out of his mouth is intentional. So I already thought that there's something about Violet that we don't know yet. And again, like we still don't know, right?
We
Even
still
after
don't
book
know.
3. Yes,
We get
yes.
hints, but there's plenty of theories going around, but yes, we still don't know. And
Absolutely.
that goes into the dynamic of how dragons seem to be almost like the owners of this land and just humans live in it. Like it's the dragons that spare the humans or like choose the humans. And what do you think about that power dynamic and how it plays out in Fourth Wing?
I mean, dragons basically are being worshipped in this book.
Yes, yes.
I mean, they are the source of power, which I feel like I appreciate it in a sense that they don't have absolute power. They don't get absolute power, right? Like the writers, they only get like one signet and it flows through their dragons.
Yes.
So that's one thing. I like the dynamic of like being each other's um protect her. I am not sure. And like you guys could hate me for this if this was in a different book, but I remember that when Taryn no, yeah, when Taryn said that Violet is gonna be his last. Do you remember that?
Yes, that was so touching.
Yes.
Okay, that just reminds me of all the ways in which Taryn so gradually pushes Violet to be better. Like, she always questions herself. She's always felt like not enough. And I think Taryn is just constantly reminding her, like, yes, I need, like, I'm the best dragon out there aside from Kodok, but I will
Mhm.
wear a saddle. And there's nothing to be ashamed about
Oh
in
my
wearing a
gosh,
saddle.
yes.
There's nothing to be ashamed about in me bending my leg for you to get onto me. Like, that does not make you any less of a rider, and I just love that about him. Love, love, love.
Absolutely. There's also this dynamic where if your dragon dies, you die along with him or her, right? But
Mhm.
if the rider dies, it's not necessary that the dragon would die. But in Violet and Terran's case, Terran would go, right?
Mhm. He
That
wouldn't
is,
want
he wouldn't want to live without, yeah,
Yeah.
she
And
is his last.
if Andarna were a full-grown dragon, I feel like she would make the same decision as Taryn. And that says speaks a I know. I know.
Really?
And I think that speaks a lot to how much Andarna fell for her. I think okay, so talking about most memorable moments for me in the whole book was when Violet was trying to save Andarna from the students, the cadets who were trying to attack Andarna during threshing.
Mhm, 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 mhm.
It was both like really serious, like life or death, but also really funny the way Violet was just like, can you like skedaddle now? Like I'm trying to save you here and like fly freaking and Darna's just like looking at her like what? And but then we later find out that like no, that like and Darna knew exactly what she was doing and knew
Mhm.
exactly who she chose. And
Yeah.
I just love that like Violet sees Andarna as someone to protect just as much as maybe other people like Dane, for example, as much as I hate
Mhm,
Dane,
mhm.
sees Violet as someone to protect.
Yeah. Speaking of hate, let's talk about someone we hate in this book also, Jack Barlow.
God, I need some tea for that moment. Hold on.
So annoying. So
Annoying.
freaking annoying.
That's an understatement, girl.
Okay, I don't know. I think he doesn't deserve a single minute on this podcast. So keep it to
Oh.
like 45. Just kidding.
Okay, yes, let's talk about Jack Barlow. Uh Wait, now I can't remember what the cutoff was for Jack
Just start again.
I'll ask you, and then you talk about Jack Barlow.
Again, like I don't want a single minute of my time
Then why'd you
talk.
bring him up? Should we just
Um,
cut that whole
okay,
section?
like we hate. Okay, we I started hating him when he was trying to kill Andarna.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, he was trying, and simply because he thinks that Andarna is useless. So then, like, why are you like spending time on like spending your energy like killing Andarna? Like, just let her be. And then when he got killed by Violet, I was like, yeah, hell yeah,
Yes.
hell yeah, yes.
He more than deserves that.
He more than deserves that. Okay, well that's it for Jack Barlow. Let's move on to
Moving on.
moving on. Moving on to this new species, right? Flying species of
Griffins.
griffins and wyverns and their
Mm-hmm.
venons. So basically that's three species. Yeah, thoughts on griffins.
So the way they describe griffins, they feel very vicious, but at the same time, they also seem like they could be real sweethearts. Like if you pet them like a cat, they'll purr. That's how I imagine. That's how I imagine
Her.
like a flyer would like treat their griffin. It's like whereas like a dragon, they'd be like,
What are
shut
you
up, move
doing?
away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
I
are you
know,
doing? Yeah.
like blow steam at them. Yeah. We also get to before we move on to griffin flyers, like oh, so you talked about venons, right? So what are your thoughts about the Venom versus Rider dynamic.
Because Venons want the same thing that dragon riders have, right? Like they want power, and
Mm.
so they draw from their own source, right? From the earth, from the ground.
Mhm.
And they also made wyverns because they want some sort of their own dragon. So I think they're kind of like they really want to match. Maybe they had that need of competing against these dragon riders because we also know about signets, right? And like the magic that they wield is also could be equivalent to a dragon rider's signet.
Yep. Yep. So circling back to Griffins. So there's we meet Griffins because we also meet the Flyers.
Okay, well, still talking about the Griffins, right? Like, I think that the writers, or like basically everyone in Navarre, was taught to believe that Griffins and their flyers are actually the villains, right? In the
Right.
story,
Right.
that they
And
are the
Violet's
bad
so
guys.
taken aback when she meets them because of
I,
that.
And so basically, everyone thought that Griffins are the bad people, and they didn't even know that Venons and Wyverns are real until they actually saw one.
Yes, seeing is believing apparently. But
Mhm.
but the thing is, it's like we've always gotten, or at least they should have always had hints along the way because of the stories that they heard growing up. I think what the Navarre leadership did correctly, if you will, for their own agenda, is try to make them believe that everything that they heard was actually just myth. And so if you sow doubt amongst the people, then they start thinking like, can they trust anything or anyone that they've heard? And
Yeah.
I think that this concept of mistrust is not only in terms of like the Griffin and Ryder dynamic, but also in terms of like who's on the other side of the border. Are they actually seeking refuge, or are they evil people trying to take our resources? And that sense of sowing doubt in the riders, like this, all the students, people, even on the borders, is what Navarre is doing best.
Yeah. I mean, they even removed it from the archives, right?
Yeah.
You could never find anything about wyverns and venons in those books as much as, I mean, Violet was training to be a scribe her whole
Yeah.
life. And yeah.
And that just but then that was to their mistake though, because that made them even more suspicious. Like, why of all things can I not find books about that? Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so let's talk about then the time when they actually faced these Venons and during the war games because Dane's dad sent them there apparently, and that's when everything went to shit.
Yep. And honestly, like, for a competition of who's the most evil, Dane's dad to me is like top, top, top. Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah.
And
The
just
way that
in this book?
in this book, yeah, yeah.
Okay, in this
Because
book.
because of the way he manipulated his son, the way he sent them out to get trapped in that situation with with the Wyvern and Venom, like he's out for something, and it's not just to the Navarre leadership agenda. Like he has something he's trying. It feels like, regardless, I think. Okay, the most memorable moment for me during the fight was when Liam did that whole thing to like jump onto a wyvern to then kill the venom. Like that was the moment that told me that he is like that generation of writers, top writer for me. Uh, but then he dies.
Mm.
But how about you?
I think the most memorable was "It's Been My Honor." Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
That
You're
was
always on
actually
point with the quotes.
yes, yes, I remember all of them and I write them. So,
It's too soon
yeah, it's been my like why that line specifically? Like, isn't it enough to like,
to
you
do
know,
it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just for him to die like insane. And the fact that like remember when Zayden was like I know brother, like something like that, then that he knows that he wants to die right next to his dragon.
Carried him over.
Carried
That
him
was
over.
such a
That was
beautiful but sad moment.
yeah, that was like a very emotional for me. And then I want to ask you what like the most emotional moment is for you because I might have a clue. No,
Mm.
knowing that your favorite character is Andarna, but go for it and let me.
Wow, I guess I didn't write very many sad things, only except Liam dying, but we already talked about that. I didn't write anything negative. Okay, what was the thing you thought I was gonna say though?
Okay, for context, this was the moment when Violet told Andarna to stay wherever she was and like don't follow them into
Mhm.
fighting with the Venons.
Mhm.
And she wants her to fly back to, I think, the keep once everything goes to hell. And she said, "You'll feel the moment when you know that there's nothing to leave. And it might break your heart, but when you feel it, you fly. Promise me you'll fly." And I think it was like Violet protecting Andarna and being so concerned is everything to me. Because, like, we know that Violet is not even like, maybe like the strongest person, but she can be the strongest, right? For the people that she loves. So,
Absolutely. And she's
yeah.
always seen the best in other beings.
Mm,
She's all even though, Andarna has a broken wing and she's tiny, she still always could tell like Andarna has something really special about her. She may not be able to place it, but she knows that there's deep down inside. And Darna was always her safe space. Like that's
abs-
and like honestly, of all the training that Violet's gone through, like the most important thing is that she needed reassurance about herself. She needed someone to rely on when she didn't get that from her mom, and then her sister's been gone for a long time, her brother's
yeah.
dead or supposedly dead.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, leading us to the final moment of the book,
Oh,
right?
yes. Okay, were
What
you shocked?
I was.
You were. Okay.
I was shocked. Were you?
I was closer to the end. I kind of felt like they were building up to it somehow because I felt like they were starting to leave hints that like something wasn't quite right with his death. That like how could the guy have both saved him and then like the person who saved his life, the healer, like how would that have been possible? Because we haven't seen a scenario where it was possible. And then here we are. But at the end, he's still alive.
He's
Wow.
still alive. Welcome to the revolution.
Oh!
And
But if
it's
he
so beautiful. Like
yes.
the word revolution and not rebellion is such like it's just one word, but it means everything.
Yes. They are taking back the ownership of their whatever their movement was, and it's like through that word. Yes, I could see that. Ooh, that's deep. I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
But that's how it ended, like the book
Mhm.
ended in that note of her waking up and she is now in Arisha. And then there's Brennan.
Wow. Lots going on. Lots to
Lots.
happen.
Yep. Yep. What else shocked you though? Just in the whole book.
The whole book? Oh my goodness. Well, her getting 2 dragons was already a
Me
huge
too.
shocker.
Me too. I was
Me too.
like,
And, like, the whole time I was guessing too, like, "Oh, okay, like, which dragon" it sounds like she would be, like, maybe paired with a unique dragon, but, like, 2? Wow!
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when she met Andarna, I'm like, "Okay, it's gotta be Andarna," but then I thought it was only gonna be Andarna.
Yes.
Yeah, cause like, I could tell Taryn was, like, trying to save Andarna, like, take care of Andarna, but then I thought, like, "Okay, like, you have her, okay, good, like, moving on," right? But no! He picked her too!
Yeah,
Yep.
that was so beautiful.
What about
So
you?
beautiful. That and when we finally knew her signet, lightning. I like that part. But then it also like the gift, right? Like of Andarna, the like time
Time
stopping.
stopping?
I love that too. That was also like shocking to me.
And the moment that it happened was, like, so necessary, and, like,
Mm,
and Darna just comes in clutch. Like,
yeah,
as much as Violet's like, "Save yourselves," like,
yeah.
she's clutch. Well, if you're still with us, thank you so much for coming along with this journey.
This was so fun and enjoyable, but we are going to continue our fun next week. We will fly to Arisha and continue our conversation with Iron Flame.
Until then,
We will brew the best teas for you.
see you next week, besties.
See ya!